Hi everyone at hashtag B1LessNews and hashtag CDC Whistleblower. And because of the patience of Timothy Welsh at Tanner's Dad in a bean field in Illinois, also hashtag SB277 and hashtag mine, we continue to fight like dogs in the state of California as ground zero for maintaining our liberty, maintaining our rights for medical freedom, because this bill, it's like the Titanic, and the little bit of the iceberg they saw was just a tiny little percentage of the depth of the problem that they were really headed for, and SB277 is just that little tip that you see. So we're going to get to this meme in a second. So let's start here. Project Pounce. Let's do it. So here's the calendar. Tim hates the way this looks, so I'm going to be quick with it. This is at calendarwiz.com/SB277. And as you may be able to see, we have a bunch of events coming up this week. Let's go through them. On Thursday, we have the Vax Truth Track at autism1.org. Candace is leading it off, doing the 1:30 to 2 o'clock slot. Activism in a Snap. I've seen her PowerPoint. I can't wait to see it. I'm doing the all-day, part day Friday, all-day Saturday track. Which is, I'm actually speaking twice on that day, and I've done a lot to prepare. But we're getting on planes tomorrow, and we have 5 hours there and plenty of time. So this is the Thrive track, which is all day Saturday. Going through this stuff quick. On Wednesday, there is one of our first new projects, Are You Seeing Red Yet? And it's Wednesday, May 20th, 6 to 9. It's actually p.m. And it's at the Wood Ranch Barbecue and Grill at the Grove. The Miracle Mile Democratic Party, who co-sponsored the vaccine resolution, is having their monthly meeting. Bring your kids, your knowledge, your flyers, and your willingness to gracefully educate. Flyers available at b1less.com and sb277.org. Another event we have is with our lovely Dottie Sunshine, who's momsincharge.com. She has an event on Thursday, the 21st, from 9 to 12. I would have people go. It's going to be a bunch of like-minded people all trying to be in charge of their own bodies and their families' bodies. So go and enjoy Dottie on Thursday. Now we have this. Does this sound safe? Until a vaccine is given to the general population, all potential adverse events cannot be anticipated. Thus, many vaccines undergo phase 4 studies, formal studies on a vaccine once it is on the market. Also, the government relies on the vaccine adverse event reporting system to identify problems after marketing begins. There's 2 challenges here. Number 1, who is chosen to do phase 4 formal studies? And that you need to refer to tinyurl.com/tadtips150 spelled out, ONEFIFTY, where the main data points you need to chase down SB277 being part of phase 3 and phase 4 trials without notifying people that they are, is what it looks like SB277 is set up. And again, that's the TAC tips from yesterday. The vaccine adverse injury reporting system has been farmed out to private nonprofits, which makes it impossible for us to have FOIA requests, which is the Freedom of Information Act, so it's just a huge shell game trying to get answers. This is the, wait, what did I do there? This is the document that IOM VaxFax goes to. Please, please, I am begging everybody who ever sees this TAD Tips 151 to please go to IOM VaxFax right here to pull up this document and just begin to take it in. Some of the details you need to know are that this is an Institute of Medicine, which is a nonprofit product that was contracted by the HRCQ, which is part of our government. So our government contracted with the Institute of Medicine, a nonprofit, to then do a report, which was basically a collection of literature to try to see what all was out there, and then they crunched it into what they thought would be, I don't know what they thought they could get away with, I don't know. But it is, I'm sorry, I know everybody's hating that I'm doing this right now. I thought I'd be cute, do a better spot. There's so much in this document that you need to read. I'm trying to get to what it looks like where they're really chunky, like here's a chunky piece. There's all this chunky data. So DTP in adults, there was a high probability of causing anaphylaxis. Convincingly supports. You've just got to dissect this excruciating long document to really get a feel for when our government got together and consigned to a third-party nonprofit the job of looking at all the data. They found 20,000 possible data research documents to consider. They ended up only looking at 166. And one of the big things they did was they looked at no animal testing, which is huge. Okay, so now the next one is, does this sound like rigorous testing? This is the FDA Vax. And this goes back to until a vaccine is given to the general population. It's that same quote. Basically, we got phase 4 trial going on in the public domain, and it's going to happen at LAUSD. It's going to happen after they sign that document that was on yesterday's show, and it's going to happen after SB 277 passes. Well, it's not going to pass, but if it were to pass. Okay, then we've got this, which is the testimony. I'm going to call it testimony because I do think this should be considered a legal situation when you testify at a hearing designed to take the rights away from 250,000 people in the state of California. And Dr. Pan starts, and you can see this, and I want the reporters out there to start recognizing that we are giving you on a platter the stories that you can verify and write up. That's all we're trying to do, is get more attention to what's going on that's easily available all over the internet at the original sources, not through some, quote unquote wacky website and somebody's opinion, but directly to the resources. That's all we ever do. So if you go to tinyurl.com/SB277health, it might be health hearing, you're going to find the health hearing where you can watch at the 22-minute mark Dr. Pan say vaccines are safe and efficacious. He goes on to say the Institute of Medicine, which is part of the National Academy of Sciences, he was attempting to be misleading, is my perception of that. My perception is they were trying to lead Californians to believe this is the highest institute in the land of the federal government. Reality is it's a non-government agency with no freedom of information. And Kelly Fincher, love her to death, has been doing these lovely, love her to life actually, Animotos, and that's her Animoto that explains all of this is at tinyurl.com/PANIOM. So he goes on to say, examine the research and data on vaccine safety, and basically concluded that vaccines do not, MMR does not cause autism. And again, you can hear him say it at SB277 Health. And then he says, quote, no evidence of major safety concerns associated with adherence to the childhood immunization schedule, unquote. And you can read where he's quoting at /IOM Health Hearing. The reality is, the quote is, the IOM committee uncovered no evidence of major safety concerns associated with adherence to the childhood immunization schedule. Words are unbelievably important in the way they change the meaning. So what we've got here is misleading to believe that it's the greatest government body of the land, when in fact it's not a government body. It is a nonprofit that we can't do FOIA requests with. Saying they uncovered no evidence when they got rid of all animal testing and got rid of 20,000 plus research citations and only looked at 166 of major safety concerns. Again, the IOM is not a government agency. The IOM study, if read, does not leave the impressions impression vaccines are safety. But don't listen to me say that, please. We just want people to do the research. Nobody's anti-vax. Nobody is anti-safe vaccine. We just want people to be educated so that they make wise choices about how they vaccinate, when they vaccinate, under what conditions they vaccinate. So you need to go to /IOM VaxFacts, which is, again, this green document that I slid through. So now we're at, so the document that he quoted where he took off the IOM committee uncovered, he took off those words, is this right here, which is this document, and you'll see the third paragraph, the IOM committee, so it's right there from the childhood immunization schedule. And then this right here is this Animoto, which is available at /PanIOM. And I want you to watch that. I don't want to take 3 minutes of your time to watch it, but she did a great job. Tim, now let's go to your Twitter handle, and I want you to take it from here. On the news. Now we need to go back to what we do, which is what's going on Twitter.
So first, we're doing a lot of Periscope. We're doing this one Periscope Live as we're going on.
Hi, Periscope.
We talked about the kitten. We talked about the events in California. We talked about Autism One.
Okay.
Talked about the uncovered and the burying of data.
Okay, what's going on with this secret autism stuff? What's that?
This morning on GMA, they revealed that a young lady who's 21 was never diagnosed with autism until she was 21. That autism comes out and is different in females than it is in males, but they use this as portraying that there's a lot more adults with autism that they've never discovered. Well, Lisa says, if you can come to me, I would love to let you in. And so I tweeted that as the secret autism via GMA and Autism Speaks and Richard Besser, but I connected it back to our be1less.com. So again, this is one of those little tricks that you can do on Twitter where you can kind of bring people in on their terms and then steer them to our sites and things like that. It's a little bit tricky, but it gets retweeted and people share it and it's there forever. Now, the problem with secret autism is that they're trying to, again, bring it back to being a new normal, that how unhealthy our children are, and they're covering up the, what was the word you used as far as we started the video with, secret autism and vaccine injury mask? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's actually a vaccine injury masked.
Yeah.
And I think you're totally right. It seems like every time the parents of vaccine-injured children, the parents that think their kids are vaccine-injured, start to make any sort of headway on anything, it's like there's this huge scramble to see how can we put this fire out. And one of their ways that they do 1 or 2 times a year, and there's 2 things they do a lot. They do it's just more diagnosis. And then in the world of autism, they'll do this, now we're finding all of these adults with autism. And we really think, we're not trying to say that there aren't people out there that are struggling that could qualify for a very, very mild case of autism. We're not trying to say that at all. But it seems to be a PR strategy to pretend that these truly sickly kids just don't exist, and they're certainly not vaccine injured, is kind of
so hold it there for 1 second.
Where
you were. I one more notch up, one more tweet up.
Okay.
Basically, I referred them back to the interview I did on the Neon Nettle, which was tinyurl.com/Tim on Neon Nettle, and then I did the timeline, tinyurl.com CDC scandal. So then they gave them solid resources to go to do the research, and then the next tweet is actually a time-lapse video of before and after what vaccine injury looks like from a family. And we're excited to see Rockin' Hot that is back and putting out the video.
Yes! I'm so glad to see Rockin' Hot back, because we really, and Rockin' Hot, if you're out there, I know how you used to do those one videos all the time. You would just do them in a huge stream, probably with Hootsuite. Candace Estee, which is at CES Day, was the early tweeter that went out there and scavenged all the memes that she could find every day. Scavenge, found them from everywhere. And if you go to at CES Day, when you go to the very, 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 very bottom of all of her photos and put those in your Hootsuite to tweet, oh my God, that one's hard, Hootsuite to tweet on a regular basis in a cycle, those are some of the most important visuals we've seen to date, and they're just kind of getting lost in all the SB277 and all that other stuff.
The next one, you went too fast.
I'm sorry.
The next one is, what's his name? The comedian.
John Oliver,
who does the marketing to doctors piece. And if you haven't seen that yet, you need to see it. And that actually was a flat out retweet from Rockin' Hot. So thank you again for that up.
And then we got Laura LaRue. Yay, Laura's back. Has she been gone for a while or no? She's been rock solid.
He was talking to Dr. Humphreys, Susan Humphreys, again saying some of the things around the vaccine. Vaccines do not contribute to herd immunity. And so Dr. Humphreys really does a good job of spelling it out in ways that the general public can understand. That she doesn't go highfalutin on you and just lays it out there.
Right.
There's
so
a state we
talked
about.
Oh, Barry's going to be at Autism One this weekend. That's exciting.
Can you introduce who is Barry Siegel?
Barry Siegel is the founder of FocusForHealth.org. He has always had a very...
They're the main sponsors of Autism One this year.
They're the main sponsors of Autism One this year. I have met him one time at a health freedom event. He cares deeply about the health and safety of children. He's not an autism guy. He's not a vaccine guy. He's a health and safety. If that means, the world of autism needs his help, he'll be there. If it means there's something going on with vaccines that needs exposure, he'll be there. But yeah, Focus for Health is a wonderful resource.
So he tweeted for the first time that I've seen in a while about the subject, and he mentioned that why aren't the MMR documents being brought to the public light? He questioned the CDC and kind of asked that question. So we're getting some real high-profile players now coming to the table.
So, and then didn't you say that Danny Masterson was tweeting tonight?
A couple more tweets.
Oh, a couple more tweets. I'll just go through. Okay, this is that document that we talked about with LAUSD. Good, it can be right here. Maybe she's got the others just right here. So this is the LAUSD. Just pause it and take a screen capture. Pause the video and take a screen capture. I mean, there's so many great people writing so many great articles out there, really, really digging stuff up, and we are trying to help you dig that stuff up. So just use it.
What does that document say? It says
this is
that gives carte blanche control of your child to the school system and the medical establishment.
This is a standard form that was sent out to a mom, actually a fairly wealthy mom. It wasn't somebody who was getting federal aid, ready to send her child to a charter kindergarten. And she looked at this document and was just flabbergasted when she saw that it says that you consent to give a physical examination, blood, urine, and tuberculin tests, and required immunizations through the health screening program. And when you combine that with SB 277, Section 2E, where it says they can choose the immunizing agents and the location where they immunize, it sets LAUSD up and probably other poorer community school systems that have similar documents for this Phase 3 and Phase 4 FDA trial. So you would bring your kid to school thinking that they would be getting the state-of-the-art vaccine, and then 3 years later you would find out that they were getting a vaccine that was in Phase 4 trial, that they've legally covered themselves by saying, oh no, it's available to the entire market, but we were still formally testing it. So that's a huge story somebody needs to get on right away, because we've been talking about it now for a while, and someone's going to break with that story. So you've just got a lot of great stuff on your thread as always. This one you have to watch. This one is Cheryl AstroTurf. Cheryl Atkinson talking about astroturfing, and you just have to watch it. It's at I don't remember the tiny URL for that, but here's the YouTube right here. You can get it. Tanner's dad. So let's just end with a pretty meme. This one's great. It's herd immunity. It's just a farce. Herd immunity. That's why they switched to community immunity, and now they've switched to iHeart immunity, which I've noticed a ton of people are using. So great job, everybody. Again, hashtag SP277, hashtag mine, hashtag CDC whistleblower. And then some of the most valuable tweeting you can do is whenever you find other hashtags where they're talking about this positively, go in with some education because people really just want to know the truth. Okay, we love you and we'll see you on Twitter. Tim, anything?
No, thank you for joining us on TA Tips 151.